Hello, MCAWW instructors. Welcome to Instructor's Neighborhood. I'm so tickled to have you here. Today, we get to visit Brittany in the classroom. Isn't that just the best? She is going to share some of her instructor best practices. I can hardly wait. Let's get to it. Well, hi, Brittany.
Oh, hi, Leah. Welcome to the classroom.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. So, what are you up to?
I'm in the process of preparing for my class next week.
Wow, next week?
Yep, you got to do it in advance.
Wow. So, as you prepare for class, what are some things that you're really focused on?
Great question. I think what I most focus on is repetition and rehearsal. I think it's really important that when I go into the classroom that I've done this multiple times, that I feel confident about what I'm saying and how I'm presenting it. And sometimes that includes things like checking on what tone am I using, what energy am I bringing to the space, kind of checking out my cadence and how I want things to flow to make sure that I'm delivering content in a confident and appropriate way.
So, I've heard this thing about a matrix. What is that?
Yeah, it is a super detailed form that allows instructors in advance to prepare both themselves, but also support MCAWW staff really set up the room in the way that they want. It both tracks where you anticipate your time, how much time you're spending on topics, but also what materials, what supplies, what things you need. So when you show up to the classroom that morning, you can run through to make sure the index cards that you need, or the Post-its, or the dry erase boards, or all of those things are set and ready because you've already prepared your matrix successfully in advance.
So what are some other things you would practice?
Well, part of it is checking out my room setup, making sure that materials around the room are set up how I want them or how I envision them to be for a smooth process of delivery. The other one is that I often practice with my PowerPoint slides to make sure I'm timing out where I want to hit certain time markers that help keep me on track and in a way that lets me kind of understand where I'm going to prepare in case I need to flex or pivot the way that I'm approaching the material.
What are some things that you are really keeping in mind as you're going through the class?
Well, I think for me, it all comes down to the most important thing is movement. And that means both for me as an instructor, I plan to move around the space, use that to help keep students engaged so they're trying to follow me around the room. And then part of it is the student movement. So we know that if students move within the first 15 to 30 minutes of classroom, getting them up and moving, it's proven that they're more engaged throughout the rest of the class.
Interesting. I heard that had something to do with actual blood flow to their brain.
Sounds like science to me.
Love some science. What else can you tell me?
I think the other part for me is making sure that I'm tracking notes as I go to the best of my ability. Now, that doesn't mean I'm stopping lecture to be like, ooh, that didn't land. But taking a moment, maybe when students are working on an activity or as I'm tracking my time that I've rehearsed, to see how things are lining up. And if there's things I want to flag maybe for next time, if I notice, that content didn't land the way I wanted it to, or the students seem to be really struggling with the content, that will all help me when I get to the end of the class really process and improve the module moving forward.
So as soon as the class is done, do the instructors just get to leave the room and not worry about things until the next time?
Hopefully not. What our goal for instructors is we know that things kind of are easier to capture right after the moment. So immediately after class, typically I'll do a debrief with someone or an instructor to make sure that we're talking through what do we think landed well, what didn't, and reviewing those notes that I was jotting down during class for things that I might want to change for the next time. So it's an initial crash course brainstorm of what I want to change. Now, that being said, it's not a one-time moment. After class, within a couple of weeks, we're going to get the post-class evaluation. Because believe it or not, it's not just what I think or what the rest of the MCA team thinks about how it went. It matters what our students want and what they took away and what they recommend. So there's another point of evaluation once we review that information when it comes out.
Yeah, because we're always trying to make things better.
That indeed we are, Leah.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
How awesome. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for your time today. I know I learned a lot, and hopefully all of you guys learned a lot too. Well, instructors, I hope you learned as much as I did today. Wasn't it delightful? Stay tuned for our next adventure, where Brittany takes us on a classroom tour. Toodles.